use what you can. If you have an injury in one of your arms, make sure you keep exercising the other arm. Studies have shown that continuing to exercise the other arm, you will build strength in non-exercising arm through stimulation of muscle fiber. Stay smart and smiling. Avoid processed foods. There are studies that show processed foods are the worst IQ foods because they are filled with high fructose corn syrup, aspartame, and other chemicals. Not only that, people are more prone to depression with a high processed food diet.
So starting off on all fours, finding your alignment, ensuring that the wrists are stacked underneath the shoulders and that the knees are stacked underneath the hips. Spreading the fingers wide and really grounding through the finger mounds as well as the fingertips. We'll move through a few cat-cows to warm up the spine. So as you inhale, drop the belly, reach the chest through the arms, tilt the tailbone up towards the ceiling and gaze up. As you exhale, press the mat away from you. Tuck the tailbone, curl in towards yourself and gaze towards the navel. Inhale again. Take the belly low, reach the heart through the arms to look up. Exhale. Tuck the tailbone, curl in towards yourself, gaze towards the navel. Good, 3 more rounds. Inhale, belly drops, heart reaches, shoulder blades squeezing on the back body. Exhale, tailbone tucks, tuck in towards yourself and gaze towards the navel. 2 more. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale, find a neutral spine. And keeping the knees stacked underneath the hips, reach the fingertips way forward. And then as you exhale, tilt the tailbone up towards the ceiling. Allow the hands to slide forward and allow the heart to melt down towards the mat. The more narrow the stance of the arms are, the more challenging this is going to be. It's a really deep shoulder opener, preparing the body for the sun salutations, preparing the body for any weight-bearing poses on the wrists, on the shoulders. A couple more breaths here, really allowing the armpits to melt towards the mat. If you'd like to take this deeper, you can also straighten both knees, tucking the toes, and straightening the legs completely, taking this into a deeper back bend. Just come out of it, press into the fingertips, lift the chest, and slowly walk the hands back underneath the shoulders. And from here, we're going to thread the left hand underneath the right arm and come all the way down onto the left shoulder, taking the left ear towards the mat. In option 1, reaching the right arm up towards the ceiling, staying here. Option 2, bending the right elbow, pointing the thumb down towards the floor, and then hooking the inside of the left thigh with the hand. And just breathing into the left shoulder. Slowly take the right hand towards the side of the face, press yourself back up, release the left arm, and switching over to the opposite side. This time threading the right arm underneath, taking the right shoulder to the mat, right ear to the mat, and reaching up with the left arm staying here, or bending the elbow, spinning the thumb down towards the mat and hooking the right inner thigh with the hand. Squaring the hips and breathing into the front of the right shoulder this time. then slowly find your way to come down onto the belly. Taking the forehead or the chin to the mat and extending the right arm out towards the side. And then rolling over onto the right side of the body, bending the left knee, taking the foot into some variation of tree pose here. And the further you roll over onto the shoulder, the more deep you're going to feel the stretch in the deltoid. And resist any temptation to come out of this. It's not supposed to feel good. Just a couple more breaths. And slowly roll yourself back onto your belly. Switching the arms for this time. Left arm extends out like a T. Right fingertips to the mat. Rolling over onto the left shoulder now, bending the block side of the leg. Bending the right knee. And then really allowing the right shoulder to roll back in space to find more depth in the stretch. And resisting any temptation to move out of this. Just allow the body to be with the sensations. Good. Exhale, take the fingertips back to the mat. Slowly roll back onto the belly. Take the hands, plant them underneath the shoulders. And pick yourself up. Coming to sit on the shins, crossing the ankles underneath you, and then coming to a comfortable seated position. Either sitting easy cross-legged, or if you like sitting in half lotus or full lotus, feel free to move into that. Really grounding through the sitting bones, finding a tall seat. Sucking the navel up and back towards the spine. Taking the shoulder blades onto the back body. Inhaling, reaching the arms straight up overhead, reaching high through the side body. As you exhale, pivot the hips, fold all the way forward, and fingertips to the mat. Deep breaths here. Using your inhale to reach the heart forward, and using your exhale to fold more deeply at the hips. Good. Inhale, come up onto the fingertips. Walk the fingers back towards the spine. And from here, we'll inhale, take the arms up. And then exhale, right arm comes forward. Left arm comes back in space, twist over to the left. Inhale, come back up through center, switch the arms. Left arm comes forward, right arm moves back. 2 more times. Inhale, come up to center. Exhale, twist over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist to the left. Inhale, up through center. Exhale, left forearm to the mat. Fold forward to the left. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, this time right forward, right forearm to the floor. Exhale, fold forward to the right. And one more round, come up through center. Forearm to the floor, reach with the fingertips. Inhale, up through center. Exhale. Inhale, find center. And exhale. Hands to knees, close to the eyes. Hi everyone, my name is Michelle. I am a registered yoga teacher. I did my training in India, in Goa at Himalaya Yoga Valley. My training was in traditional Ashtanga yoga, and I now specialize in Vinyasa. And so this next class is really based on what my discipline is. So we're going to be moving a lot, we're going to be sweating a lot. we're going to move through some modified variations of sun salutation A and B. There's going to be a lot of core and upper body strength training involved, as well as a lot of cardio involved. So take your time, use as many props and blocks as you'd like, take water breaks when you need, and take child's pose when you need.
Starting just at the top of your mat, taking your feet about hip distance apart, and really calibrating the body, starting from the feet and working upwards, lifting the toes, spreading them wide, then gripping the mat underneath you with the toes, lifting up through the kneecaps, engaging the quadriceps, tucking the tailbone, sucking the navel up and back towards the spine, taking the shoulder blades onto the back body, finding a really strong Tadasana. Take about 5 deep breaths here. You can close through the eyes if that feels right. Beginning to engage your Ujjayi breath, gently constricting the back of the throat, creating an ocean-like sound with the breath, inviting heat and prana into the body, allowing you to move through your practice with more ease, intelligence, lightness, and strength. After your last breath, gently open the eyes. Take a deep inhale, circle the arms up, reach the arms out overhead, look up. Exhale, pivot the hips, swan dive forward and fold. Halfway lift, inhale, take the hands to the shins. And exhale, fold over the legs for 5 deep breaths. And allow this to be passive to start, keeping a gentle bend in the knees and focusing more on reaching the heart forward towards the earth, lengthening through the spine. Relaxing the ears and between the biceps. 2 more breaths. Good, inhale, press into the feet, circle the arms up, reach up through the fingertips. And exhale, swan dive forward. Again, this time hook the big toes with the first 2 fingers. Halfway lift, inhale for length, reach forward with the heart. And then exhale, fold deeply, pulling up on the toes, taking the elbows out to the sides. 5 deep breaths here, using every inhale to reach the heart closer down towards the earth. And using every exhale to gently straighten the knees. 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. Inhale, press into the feet, circle the arms up, look up. And exhale, swan dive forward and fold. Halfway lift, inhale for length. And exhale, this time slide the hands underneath the feet, tops of the hands in contact with the mat, ensuring that the toes are all the way up in the wrist crease. Halfway lift, inhale, reach forward. And then exhale, fold. Step firmly on the hands with the feet, breathing into the fronts of the wrists, breathing into the backs of the legs, and breathing into the spine. 3 more breaths. 2. And 1. Inhale, gently release the feet, circle the arms up. Exhale, fold all the way forward. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, plant the palms, step back. Lower down either knees, chest, chin, or full chaturanga. Inhale, cobra or upward facing dog. Exhale, either through tabletop or roll over the toes, downward facing dog. Take 5 deep breaths here, doing whatever you need to do to warm up your dog. Pedaling out the feet, swaying the hips, shaking the head, yes or no. Taking a baby bend in the elbows and in the knees to warm up the shoulders, warm up the joints. Two more breaths. Good, inhale, look forward between the thumbs. Exhale, and to walk the feet up towards the hands. Halfway lift, inhale at the top, palm side. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, press into the feet, circle the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center. And Samasthiti, 2 more rounds. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, swan dive forward and fold. Halfway lift, inhale, grow long. Exhale, plant the palms, step or float back to plank. Lower down knees, chest, chin, forward, chaturanga. Inhale, shoulder blades on the back body. Exhale, hips come high and back. Downward facing dog. 5 breaths here. Wrapping the shoulder blades towards the outsides of the body. Broadening through the upper back. Reaching the heels down towards the earth without compromising the integrity of your spine. 2 more breaths here. Good, inhale, look forward. Exhale, walk or float up to the hands. Halfway lift, inhale. And exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, press into the feet, circle the arms up, reach up through the side body. And exhale, hands through heart center. Samastitihi, again, inhale. Exhale, pivot and fold. Halfway lift, inhale, long spine. Exhale, hands to mat, step or float back. Chaturanga, strong upper body as you lower. Inhale, open the heart. And exhale, downward facing dog, navel sucked up and back towards the spine. Pressing out through the outside edges of the hands. 3 more breaths here. 2. Inhale, forward. Exhale, step or float up to the hands. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold deeply. Inhale, press into the feet, reach the arms high. And exhale, hands through heart center. Samastitihi, again, inhale. Exhale, pivot and fold. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the palms. This time, inhale, straighten the elbows, take the shoulders over the wrists. Come up high on the toes, hollow out the upper back, and take the weight forward. Grip with the fingertips and press for 4. You should feel like you're about to fall forward. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, step or float back. Chaturanga. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog. 5 breaths. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, take the shoulders over the wrists, come up high on the toes, and walk up just on the toenails for 4. Gripping with the fingertips. 3, pressing the mat away from you. 2, and 1. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, fold. Inhale, press into the feet, circle the arms up, look up. Exhale, hands through heart center. Samastitihi. This time, inhale, bend the knees. Sink the hips, reach the arms. Lift the heels, squeeze the inner thighs for 5. 4, keep the hips sinking. 3, navel contained. 2, and 1. Exhale, lower the sitting bones. Navasana. 3 options here. First option, either keeping the feet hovering over the mat. Second option, knees are parallel. And third option, full Navasana, legs are straight. Whatever option you like is fine as long as the spine stays long. 3 more breaths here. 2, and 1. Hollow back, hold. Straighten the legs, tuck the tailbone, take the low back in contact with the mat. Hold here for 5 breaths, containing the core. Keeping the inner thighs squeezing. Toes are pointed for 2, and 1. Now we're going to compress the lower body to the upper body. Knees can be bent or straight for a count of 5. Move slowly. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hold for 5. Shoulder blades on the back body. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower for 5. Low back in contact with the mat. 4, 3, 2, and 1. Knees to chest. Take 5 breaths. From here, you will hold up the backs of the hamstrings. We're going to begin to rock up and down on the spine at least 3 times, giving yourself enough momentum to come all the way up to chair pose. Once you feel ready, plant the feet, press into the feet, come all the way up, lift the heels, squeeze and hold for 5, sink the hips. For 4, keep the chest proud. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, lower the sitting bones. Navasana, lift the feet. 5, squeeze the thighs together. 4, keep the heart reaching. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, hollow back, hold for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, compress for 5. Knees can be bent. 4, move slowly. 3, 2, and 1. Hold here for 5. Stare at the toes. 4, 3, 2 more breaths. And 1. Exhale, lower for 5. Last 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, knees to chest. Take 5 breaths here. Doing whatever you need to do to bring the body back to neutral. You can draw circles with the knees. You can windshield wipe the legs here just by taking 1 knee in and then switching the legs. Standing at the top of your mat with 2 blocks about shoulder distance apart. If you don't have blocks, you can use textbooks and stack them up high. Take the toes in line with the backs of the blocks and just find your Tadasana. Recalibrating the feet towards the earth. Inhale, bend the knees, sink the hips, reach the arms. Chair pose, hold here for 5 breaths. Tuck the tailbone, contain the core. Shoulder blades on the back body, elbows are straight, fingers are straight. 2 more breaths. Good, exhale, fold forward over the legs. Halfway lift, inhale, elongate. Exhale, plant the palms, step or float back. Lower down, strong upper body. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. Virabhadrasana 1. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, knee to chest. Curl the upper back a lot. Come forward on the toes. And then extend the foot any amount and hover for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Plant the front foot, spin the back foot, rise up. Warrior 1, 1 count. Exhale, hands to blocks, step back, lower down. Inhale, Urdhva. Exhale, downward facing dog, left side. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Exhale, knee to chest, curl the upper back. Extend the foot and hover, hover, hover. Hover, plant and spin, rise up. 1 breath at the top. Exhale, step it back, Chaturanga. Inhale, Urdhva Mukha. Exhale, Adho Mukha. 5 deep breaths here. Taking 1 exhale through the mouth if that feels good. Inhale, take the gaze forward between the thumbs. Exhale, bend the knees, come up behind the toes, and either step or float up to the hands. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, bow deeply. Inhale, bend knees. Sink hips, reach arms. Chair pose for 5. For 4, keep the chest lifting. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, inhale. Exhale, plant the palms, step or float back. Chaturanga, strong upper body. Inhale, open the heart. Exhale, downward facing dog, warrior 1. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Exhale, knee to chest, curl the upper back, extend the foot and hover for 4, for 3, 2, and 1. Plant front foot, spin back foot, rise up, 1 breath. Exhale, hands to block, step back, keep moving here. Left side, inhale. Exhale, knee to chest, curl, extend, and hover. Hover, keep the core contained. 2, and 1. Plant and spin, rise up, 1 breath. Exhale, hands to block, step back. Chaturanga Dandasana. Inhale, and exhale. Downward facing dog, take 5 breaths in down dog, or come down to the knees. Take a wide-legged child's pose. After 5 breaths, find tabletop position, taking the hands to the blocks. And then exhale. Find your downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Keep the hips square by pointing the right pinky toe down towards the mat. And then exhale, bend right knee, take it to the outside of the right armpit, and pivot forward, and press the blocks for 5. For 4, keep the knee in contact with the tricep 2. And 1, inhale, take it up. Exhale, knee to tricep again. Contract the right oblique. Keep pressing the blocks away from you. Inhale, take it up. And the last time, knee to tricep, take it forward. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, downward facing dog, left side, inhale. Square the hip, point left pinky toe down towards the mat. And as you exhale, take it forward, left knee to tricep. 3, 2, and 1. Inhale, take it high. Exhale, knee to tricep, pivot forward. 3, 2, 1. Last time, inhale, take it high. Exhale, knee to tricep, take it forward for 3, for 2, and 1. Inhale, take the leg high. Exhale, downward facing dog. Take child's pose for 5 breaths. Good, after 5 breaths, then your downward facing dog again. Taking the blocks back underneath the hands. And 2 options for this next one. You can either repeat what we just did, or you can follow along with me and attempt the arm balance. It's the same way as you started before. Inhale, right leg reaches high. Keep the knee square. Exhale, take the right knee in towards the tricep. But this time, keep moving forward. Take the side of the face down to the mat and see if the back leg will float. Extend the right leg and hold. Hold. Good, exhale. Slowly come out of it. Move through a Vinyasa. Downward facing dog. Let's try the left side now. Inhale, left leg. Exhale, knee to tricep. Keep the left knee in contact with the elbow as you pivot all the way forward. Dive the chest forward. Maybe the back toes lift. Maybe the left toes extend. For 3, 2, and 1. Slowly come out of this. Inhale. And exhale. Downward facing dog. Good, inhale. Walk your feet towards the front of the mat. Take the blocks off to the side. Stay in your forward fold, except keeping the feet hip distance apart. We're going to hook the right big toe with the right fingers, and then take the left hand to the left hip. Move slowly here. So begin to transfer the weight all the way over onto the left foot. Pick a spot in front of you that isn't moving. Very slowly begin to pick up the right foot. Hold here for 5 breaths, and you can be bent or straight. 4 breaths, keeping the low belly contained. 3, 2 more breaths. Good, and 1. So we release the toe, kick the leg back in space, doing whatever you need to do with your arms to keep your balance. Finding toppling tree, warrior 3, or airplane pose, whatever you want to call this. 2 more breaths. 1 more deep breath. Exhale, finding crescent lunge. Very slowly bend the front knee. Step the back foot way back in space. Reach the arms up. Crescent lunge. Squeezing your thighs towards one another. Keep gathering up through the legs, gathering up through the core. Exhale, just take the back knee down towards the mat, low lunge. Interlace the fingers, place them on the left thigh. And really allow yourself to sink into the right hip. Allow the body just to melt and surrender with every exhale. Option 1, stay here for an additional 4 breaths. Option 2, you can bend the back knee. Now using a strap or the hand, take a hold of the back foot in space, and then reach the right heel of the foot towards the right sitting bone. And just breathe into the quad. And exhale, get hold of the foot. Just take it back down towards the mat. Place the fingertips down in front of your shoulders. And as you exhale, just step the right foot to meet the left foot, and exhale. Take a nice forward fold here. And shake the head yes and no to release the neck. And same thing, left side. Hooking the left big toe with the first 2 fingers, taking the right hand towards the right hip, and then moving really slowly, beginning to transfer the weight all the way over onto the right foot. Stare at one spot that isn't moving, and then begin to lift the leg up in space. Knee can be bent or straight. It's more important to keep the spine long than to have the legs straight. 2 more breaths. Good, release the foot. Do whatever you want to do with the hands here and sweep the left leg back in space, finding toppling tree, airplane pose, whatever you want to call this pose. You can keep a gentle bend in the grounding foot to make balance a little bit easier. And as you exhale, take a gentle bend in the front leg. Step away back with the left leg. Inhale, crescent lunge. Squeezing the inner thighs towards one another. Gathering up through the legs, gathering up through the core. Taking the shoulder blades on the back body. Good, and exhale, take the back knee down, low lunge, interlace the fingers, placing them on the quadricep. The back toes can be tucked under, or you can come onto the top of the foot, whatever's more comfortable for you. And just really allow yourself to sink into the left quadricep, the left hip flexor. Option 1, staying here for an additional 4 breaths. Option 2, bend the back knee and reach for a hold of it, either with a hand or with a strap. And then just reaching the left heel towards the left sitting bone, ensuring that you're not moving back in space, but that you're still bending at the knee and moving forward. Always staring at one spot that isn't moving to keep your balance. Just 2 more deep breaths here. Release the foot if you have a hold of it. Take the fingertips down to the mat. On the exhale, step forward with the left leg. Take a forward fold, the feet hip distance apart. From here, we'll move through Vinyasa. Inhale. Take the hands up overhead like that. Exhale. Swan dive forward and fold deeply. Halfway lift, inhale, shoulder blades on the back body. Exhale, plant the palms, step or float back. Lower down, strong upper body, keeping the elbows sucked in towards the ribs. Inhale, upward facing dog. And exhale, downward facing dog. From here, in the inhale, reach the right leg high. Bend the knee and stack the right hip over top of the left hip. As you exhale, step forward with the right foot. Pivot the back foot so that it's parallel with the back of the mat. As you inhale, windmill the arms open. Find warrior 2. Keeping the right knee stacked over the right ankle. Keeping the arms parallel towards one another, shoulder blades squeezing behind the back body, keeping the elbows strong, and keeping the fingers strong. Good, inhale, dancing warrior. Reach up and back with the right arm, reaching through the right side of the body. As you exhale, Trikonasana, straighten the front leg, pivot in towards the right hip, and take the right hand to the shin, ankle, or inside of the right foot. Take the left arm straight up overhead and gaze towards the left thumb. Good. From here, moving slowly, plant the left hand underneath the left shoulder. You're going to begin to pivot on the back foot so that you're on the outside edge of the foot. Option 1, just heel toe the right foot in front of you, coming into a modified side plank. Option 2, hooking the right big toe with the first 2 fingers. Slowly begin to lift the leg up in space. You can be bent or straight here. Coming into an extended Vashisthasana. Hold here for 5. For 4, keep lifting through the left hip. 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, super slow motion. Step forward with the right foot. And step back, find downward facing dog. Same thing, left side. Inhale, left leg reaches high. Open the hip, stacking left hip over right. Bend the knee. Reach the left heel towards the right sitting bone. Then as you exhale, step the left leg forward. Pivot the back foot so that it's parallel with the back of the mat. And then inhale, open up to warrior two. Keeping the left knee stacked over top of the left ankle. Keeping the shoulder strong, the elbow strong, the fingers strong. 2 more deep breaths. Good, inhale, dancing warrior, reach back with the left arm. And then exhale, Trikonasana, straighten the front knee. Inhale through the left hip and take the left hand to the shin ankle or to the inside of the foot. Gaze up towards the right thumb. Moving slowly for the next transition, plant the right hand underneath the right shoulder, and then choosing whatever option works for you, pivot onto the outside edge of the right foot, either picking up the foot or heel-toeing the left foot in front of you for a modified Vashisthasana. Ensure that the right hip is moving up in space, keeping the left shoulder stacked over top of the right. Good, either stepping the left foot forward or heel-toeing the foot. Plant the left foot and step back. Downward facing dog, drop the knees. Wide-legged child's pose, take 5 deep breaths. And once you're ready, inhale, find all fours. Exhale, take the hips up and back, find downward facing dog. And either walking the feet up towards the hands or jumping the feet up towards the hands. Find a forward fold. Press into the feet, circle the arms up. And exhale, find your Tadasana. Stepping the right leg all the way out towards the back of the mat, taking a really wide stance with the legs, and then pigeon-toeing the feet so that the big toes are slightly facing one another. Taking the hands to the hips, inhaling, taking the shoulder blades to squeeze behind the back, elbows squeezing as well. Gaze up towards the ceiling. Then exhale, pivot at the hips, fold all the way forward, hooking the big toes with the first 2 fingers. Halfway lift, inhale again, find lots of space in the spine. And then exhale, fold, elbows coming out to the sides, crown of the head, reaching towards the mat. Taking 5 deep breaths here, using the strength of the fingers to pull up on the toes and pull the heart further down towards the mat. Spreading the sitting bones away from one another and keeping the low belly contained. Good, inhale, release the toes, take the hands back to the hips, contract the core as you come all the way up to standing. Release the hands and interlace them behind the back, straightening the elbows, or if the shoulders are really tight, you can also just reach for opposite elbows, whatever is more comfortable for you. Inhale, look up towards the sky, and then exhale, pivot at the hips, fold all the way forward, allowing the hands to fall over the head, releasing the deltoids, releasing the fronts of the shoulders. You can allow the back to round a bit here. So we're really trying to open up through the shoulders. And inhale, press into the feet, contract the core, come all the way back up to standing. Taking the hands back to the hips. Last time, inhale, squeeze the elbows, squeeze the shoulder blades, look up. And then exhale, fold all the way forward, taking the hands underneath the shoulders to the mat. Halfway lift, inhale, straighten the elbows, gaze forward. And as you exhale, begin to heel toe the feet away from one another, just to the point of sensation in the groin. I'm going to stay here for quite a few breaths. So find a place that's work. Find a place that's still comfortable for you. Continuously reaching the heart forward in space and allowing the hips just to release and melt towards the earth, never pushing or going further than your body allows you to. Just allowing everything to open very naturally. And we're always moving in our poses, even if they're static. So playing around with the pelvis, tucking the tailbone, really sending the iliac bones down towards the mat, and noticing what that feels like in your body. And then maybe lifting the tailbone up towards the ceiling, taking a gentle back bend in the lumbar spine, and noticing what that feels like in the body. Taking about 5 more breaths here. Two more deep breaths, letting everything just release. Good, and to come out of this, just slowly walk the fingertips towards the groin and just sit on the sitting bones. And then wiggle the legs forward in space. Moving into some core work now. Either using blocks or a couple of textbooks that they're stacked and they give you a little bit of height. It's going to be a 3-part core sequence. So we'll start off in Navasana. And just like we did earlier, 3 options. Either just allowing the feet to float off of the mat. Option 2, allowing the shins to be parallel with the mat. And option 3, taking the legs to straight. So we're going to do that for 5 counts. And then we're going to cross at the ankles, press into the blocks, pick up the seat. And if you can, pick up the feet as well. We'll do that for 5 counts. And then exhale, take the sitting bones down, extend the feet, and find your hollow back holds for 5 counts. So we'll do 5 rounds of each. So starting off, taking the soles of the feet to the mat, bending the knees, taking the hands underneath the hamstrings, and then really reaching the heart forward in space to broaden through the collarbones. Begin to take the weight back, lift the feet, extend the arms, Navasana for 5 breaths, containing the low belly for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Cross at the ankles, pick up the seat, and maybe the feet for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, take the sitting bones down, extend the feet, hold for 5, squeeze the quads for 4, squeeze your glutes for 3, keep the heart lifted for 2, and for 1, Navasana, 4 more rounds. 3 more breaths. 2 more breaths. And 1, cross and pick up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and exhale, extend for 5, for 4, 3, 2, and 1, Navasana, 5 breaths, squeezing your thighs, 4, 3, 2, and 1, cross and pick up high for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, extend for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, Navasana, 2 more rounds, squeezing your thighs, keep the chest lifted, keep the shoulder blades on the back body, 2, and 1, cross and pick up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1, hollow back for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, last round, Navasana, don't lose the alignment, 3, 2, and 1, cross and pick up high for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, last one, hollow back hold, 4, 3, 2, and 1, exhale, take the knees to chest, take 5 deep breaths. Inhale, slowly roll up. For this next one, there's a few options as well. First option is to inhale, sit up, press into the blocks, and pick up just the seat. We're going to hold for 5. Exhale, come all the way down. Second option, same thing. Roll up, pick up the seat, and maybe the feet for 5. Exhale, come down. And the last 2 options are the same, except without using the block, so a lot more challenging. So try it out, pick an option that works for you. And then when you're ready, we'll do 5 rounds together. So starting with the arms up overhead. Take 1 breath to clear the stale air out of the lungs. And we'll begin, inhale, roll up, use the core to pull you up, pick up for 5, 4, take the shoulders beyond the wrists, 3, 2, and 1, exhale, lower down slowly, take the arms up overhead. 4 more rounds, inhale, use the core to pull you up, press into the blocks, dive forward for 4, 3, 2, and 1, exhale, slowly take it down, 3 more rounds. Inhale, use the core, sit up, pick up, dive forward for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, take it down, 2 more. Inhale, roll up, pick up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, take it down, last one. Inhale, roll up, pick up, maybe the feet come up for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Exhale, take it down, knees to chest. Take 5 deep breaths here. And from here, bring the soles of the feet to the mat. And setting up the hands with the palms face down. The middle fingers should be able to graze the heels of the feet. If they don't, then scooch the heels back. Ensure that the toes are parallel and not splayed out. You can even slightly pigeon toe the feet here if you'd like. Moving into Setu bridge pose. Without using the glutes at all, press into the feet. Release the strength of the inner thighs as you inhale to lift the hips. Lift the belly, lift the low ribs off of the mat. And staying here for 5. Option 1, stay here. Option 2, interlace the fingers underneath the back and roll onto the outsides of the arms. They press the forearms into the mat. Release the glutes completely. Using every inhale to reach the iliac crest further up towards the ceiling. Using every exhale to allow this to be a little bit more comfortable. 2 more breaths. Good. As you exhale, release the fingers if you have them interlaced. And very slowly come down vertebrae by vertebrae. Taking the knees in towards the chest, lifting the forehead towards the knees and curling the low back a lot to reset what we just did. And we'll repeat this again. Setting up the same way as we did feet, parallel towards one another, middle fingers grazing the back heels. And then when you're ready, using only the strength of the feet and the strength of the inner thighs, inhale, pick up the hips, the belly, the low ribs, staying here or interlacing the hands behind the back, and then popping up onto the outsides of the shoulders, keeping the neck stable as you do this. Breathe here for 5 deep breaths, using every inhale to reach the iliac crest up towards the ceiling. And using every exhale to find a little bit more comfort in this pose. Just 3 more breaths here. 1 more deep breath. Good, and when you're ready to come out of it, slowly release the hands. Coming down with control, vertebrae by vertebrae, thoracic spine, lumbar spine, sacrum. And again, bending the knees in towards the chest and taking the head up towards the knees, allowing the lumbar spine to curl a lot and doing what we just did to the back. And and taking the feet back down. And two options here, either repeating Setu Bandhasana bridge pose for one more round, or if you practice wheel or Vinyasa, I'll cue you through that now. So the feet are set up the same way as in bridge pose, except we take the hands and place them underneath the shoulders, fingers pointing away from the body. Pressing into the feet and using the strength of the inner thighs. Inhale, come up only onto the crown of the head. And then once you're here, point the elbows straight back in space, squeezing the elbows together, and then taking the shoulder blades onto the side body, really wrapping. Once you feel strong, inhale, press into the hands, lifting all the way up, straightening the elbows, and then breathing here for 5 breaths, ensuring that the feet didn't splay out. If they did, point the toes back towards to parallel. Spread the fingers wide. Take the shoulder blades out towards the side body. 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Good, exhale, bend the elbows, slowly come onto the crown of the head. And then exhale again, roll onto the back of the head, bend the knees in towards the chest. And take a few breaths, resetting the hips. Resetting the spine. Resetting the shoulders. We'll just move into a couple of hip openers before we close the class. Extending the right leg, or sorry, the left leg firmly down the mat, and then bending the right knee in towards the chest. Either hooking the big toe with the first 2 fingers, or taking a strap and looping it around the ball of the foot. When you're ready, we're going to extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. The knee can be bent here, it doesn't have to be straight. Just move the leg to the point where you feel sensation in the right hamstring. We'll stay here for 5 breaths, ensuring that the left foot is flexed, left toes are pointing back towards the face, left quadricep is engaged, and the right shoulder blade is moving down towards the mat. 2 more deep breaths here. Here, really magnetizing the left hip towards the mat. As you inhale, contract the core a lot. Very slowly open the right leg all the way out so that it just hovers over the floor. And once you're there, really visualize the head of the thigh bone, the femur, and externally rotate the leg so that the right big toe points further down towards the mat. 3 more breaths here, really breathing into the left quadricep, the right groin, keeping the low belly contained, keeping the ribs contained. 1 more breath. Good. As you inhale, contract the core, sweep the leg all the way back up through center. And this time, holding the foot with both hands. As you exhale, lift the head, lift the shoulders, and breathe here for 5, gazing towards the shin. For 4, using the strength of the core to keep the upper body lifted. For 3, melting the shin towards the face. 2. And 1, exhale, bend both knees in towards the chest, reset the hips. Then setting up on the opposite side, extending the right leg down the mat firmly. And then either hooking the left big toe with the first 2 fingers, or using a strap and extending the foot up towards the ceiling. Again, the knee can be bent or straight here. More important that the spine is flat up against the mat. 4 more breaths here. Using every inhale to find space in the spine. Using every exhale to allow the leg to melt a little closer towards the face. Right leg is engaged the entire time. 2 more breaths. and then magnetizing the right hip to the mat. As we inhale, we're gonna open the left leg out towards the left, coming down with control, using the core to do this. And once the leg, blocks, move them out of the way. Once the leg is hovering over the floor, locate the head of the thigh bone, the femur, and then externally rotate the leg so that the big toe points further down towards the mat. And just breathe here. Breathe into all of the sensations in the quad, in the groin, in the hips, in the hamstring, even in the gastrocnemius, the calf muscle. And 2 more breaths. Good. Inhale, contract the core. Slowly sweep the leg all the way back up through center. Hold on to the foot with both hands. And as you exhale, lift the head, lift the shoulders. Use the strength of the abdominal muscles to keep the upper body lifted. Hold here for 5, gazing towards the shin. For 4, 3 breaths. 2, and 1. Exhale, take the head and shoulders back down. Bend left knee, bend right knee. Give yourself a squeeze to reset the hips. And just setting up for Sarvangasana, shoulder stand, our final pose where we move into Shavasana. So setting up the feet the same way as you would for bridge pose. And whenever you're ready, bending the knees in towards the chest, taking the hands by the sides, and using a little bit of momentum to take the knees in towards the head. Taking a moment to set up here, taking the hands towards the back, and resisting any temptation to move the neck once you're here. Contracting the belly, so sucking the belly up and back towards the spine. And then either coming up one leg at a time or both legs at a time. Taking the feet up straight. And then drawing the hips towards the face and drawing the feet away from the face. Squeezing the glutes, activating the quads. Activating the calves. And really breathing slowly. Staring at one spot that isn't moving to keep your drishti, your focus, your concentration. From here, moving into plow by hinging at the hips and coming down one leg at a time or both legs till the toes reach the floor. If you don't reach the floor, you can set up a block behind your head and interlacing the fingers behind the back, pressing the forearms into the mat and breathing here. Again, resisting any temptation to move the neck, containing the low belly, keeping it sucked up and back towards the spine. And then to come out of this, fully release the fingertips. Begin to roll the hips back down towards the mat, coming down super slow motion, using the fingers as brakes, and using the strength of the core to lower the legs. Control, even allowing them to hover for a couple moments at the end. Good. And taking the feet all the way down. And Matsyasana, just to counter what we did to the throat chakra, tucking the hands underneath the sitting bones, palms face down. Legs are straight. Feet are flexed, toe mounds are touching. As you inhale, bend the elbows and pop up onto the forearms, squeezing the shoulder blades together. And then as you exhale, take the crown of the head towards the mat. And taking 5 deep breaths here, broadening through the collarbone, allowing the throat chakra to be open. Out of this, just very gently tuck the chin in towards the chest. Slowly come off of the forearms. Come all the way down onto your back. If there's any pose that you like to do to close your own practice, please feel free to move into that now, whether it's a hip opener, or maybe an inversion, or a forward fold. And whenever you've completed that, finding a final Shavasana, taking Baddha Konasana legs, bending the knees, taking the soles of the feet to the mat, and allowing the legs to release out to the sides. And then drawing the heels as close to the perineum as possible. An option here, if you'd like, to really work on opening up the hips. You can take some weights and place them just above the knee joint, or even a couple of dumbbells will do the trick, no heavier than 10 pounds. And then once you're all set up, scoop the shoulder blades underneath the body. You can take the hands to the inner thighs, you can place them on the belly, whatever feels right for you. And then just begin to settle into stillness, resisting any temptation to move, or to fix, or to change, to adjust what is in the body. Regardless of how uncomfortable the body may feel, really relish in whatever present experience you may having. Begin to let go of your body piece by piece, starting with the forehead, releasing any tension that you may have in the eyebrows, unhinging the jaw, releasing the tongue from the roof of the mouth, releasing the limbs, the toes, the fingers, letting go of any